Good evening. I am Robert Wellington. I'm the director of the Office of a Budget for the Governor's Office. I wish tonight to discuss with you a very serious problem. We have a crisis. We have a budget crisis in our Sunshine State. As you know, the entire world is in an economic downturn, and everyone's having to deal with it in some way. Well, governments are in their just like everyone else. We're trying to find a way to continue to finance our growth, but the resources through taxation are slowly dwindling. In our state, where we see over 1,000 people a day, you see moving to this state, we have even a greater chance of not being able to support the population. Over the past 2 fiscal years, we have taken $350 million out of the estimates that we had for revenue. Last year, we had to take $1.5 billion out of the revenues, and then this year, from the previous year, where we took out $1.5 billion, we're only going to estimate a 3% growth there, and then the following year you see only an 8% growth. So there is no previous year's surplus of funds to bring forward to cover any unexpected expenses. The one-time resources that we do get, because we get revenues every year from one source that don't reoccur. I hate that word. That don't happen again. And now they don't keep up with the expenses that are one-time expenses. How we cover the deficits in our general operating fund is that we borrow from trust funds. Now, but because the revenues aren't coming in, we can't pay those. We can't pay all the trust funds back like we should, and even the educational enhancement funds. We're continually trying to come up with new ideas on how we can increase our revenues there for the teachers and for the schools. And now this year we have allowed for gambling and the slot machines. We've allowed for those to be used in different parts of the state, and even the revenues from those are not covering the increase of expenses. So here's what we have in our crisis, and here's our plan. We propose to increase the revenues coming in by increasing taxes and by decreasing expenses. So we are not going to get rid of any positions. We want people to continue to work. However, we're going to do a 10% pay cut across the board. We are going to increase our sales tax by 1%. We are going to increase our property tax by 10%. And in the first time, time in our history, we will consider an individual income tax. Now this will be tough. This will be tough on money management. But we can come out stronger tomorrow. The crisis is now, and we need to act now. Now I would like to open it up for the questions and answers from the media. Yes, sir in the blue shirt.
Yes, Chris Cardinelli, Fox News. With all these increases in taxes, have you cared to project the number of citizens that will leave the state because of these increases?
And
the impact on state revenues from that mass exodus?
We do not. Mr. Cardinelli, we appreciate everyone at Fox News, and we watch it all the time. We're your biggest fans. And you see, that is a very good question, and I'm certainly glad you asked it. We do not project, you see, that people are going to leave our sunshine. They come here to seek better education. They be able to drive down the road. They want to live. They want to live safely, and we feel that it is our duty to have the resources to be able to tell people that they can come to our place and they can live here in a safe place. Let's see, another question. Yes, sir.
With property taxes going up 10% and so many people struggling with their taxes every year, how do you think that'll go over with the taxpayers?
Well, see again. You see, this is a very good question, and I'm certainly glad you asked it. We have considered the burden that we're putting on the property owners. We have, in the past, increased the homestead exemption for those who are on the limited income, can afford to keep their houses. We do have a rebate in there for the low income and for those who will not be able to pay the taxes. So we do have that plan in place. We will be monitoring this because we do not want this increase in property tax to cause people to lose their homes. I have time for one more question. Yes, sir.
Hi, Chris Parker with O Magazine. Oprah told me to ask this. You mentioned that governments are like everyone else in your speech. I'm just wondering, I would venture that probably not the perception of the man in the street is that the government is like them. Maybe you could comment on that and tell us how, to the average person, you can assume that the government is like everyone else.
Again, I want to thank all our people from O Magazine. We are one of their biggest fans. We watch Oprah all the time, and it's a very good question. And the only thing I have to say is, you know, one of my favorite singers, he just passed away, and I really feel strongly that now that we are the world, and whether we're government or whether we're the people, that we are the world. So, Madam Toastmaster.